guy? Oh, man. Thank you. I'll let you know when that goes down. My job is knocking. Now you're done. All right. I got my biggest day on. Yep. I can hear anything yet? Nope. Tom, you gonna turn this back on or what? Yeah, we're not hearing audio. There's no audio. Everybody good? It is good now. You just turned it on.
Hello, I want to thank the members of the media for being with us today. We are continuing to count down the days to the total solar eclipse. It's now just 1 week away. It will be on Monday, April 8th. Public safety continues to be our top priority, and today we have some important eclipse-related announcements. And joining me today are the Commissioner of the Department of Public Works, Nate Martin, First Deputy Police Commissioner Al Wright, and Captain Marcus Rogowski from the Buffalo Police Department, Emergency Services Manager Thomas Luby, Fire Commissioner William Rinaldo, and Parking Commissioner Ray Wagner. With Buffalo in the path of totality, Buffalo has the best seats in the house to view the eclipse in just a few days. We expect a record number of out-of-town visitors to start arriving in Buffalo to view this rare event, and it's going to get really busy in our city. Today we are announcing that Buffalo City Hall will be closed next Monday, the day of the eclipse. This decision is part of the city's comprehensive approach to eclipse preparedness, which includes traffic management strategies, enhanced emergency response capabilities, and community engagement activities. By closing city offices during the eclipse, we hope to minimize traffic congestion. In addition, trash and recycling pickups in Buffalo will be delayed by 1 day during the week of the eclipse. There will be no collections on Monday, April 8th in Buffalo. Pickups scheduled on Monday will be made on Tuesday, and so on throughout the week. Also, there will be no bulk trash pickup in the Ellicott Council District on Monday, April 8th, but it will resume on Tuesday, April 9th. Parking rules will be strictly enforced on Monday, April 8th. Public parking must be in legally designated spaces only. We are asking motorists not to park on the grass throughout the city, including grassy areas at parks and museums. In addition, please don't block fire hydrants, crosswalks, or driveways throughout the eclipse event. Digital messaging boards, like the one you see here behind us, are now going up in strategic locations throughout the city to further inform residents about the eclipse. With crowd estimates of 500,000 to 1 million people converging on the Buffalo area, we're asking residents to take this event seriously. If people are viewing the events from their homes, you will be happy to know that there is no bad vantage point to view the eclipse in the city of Buffalo. Now, there are a few other things that we want people to be mindful of and prepared for. Be sure to get a special pair of eclipse glasses. it's important to wear proper eyewear while viewing an eclipse. Get all of your errands done in advance. This includes going to the grocery store and picking up prescriptions. On the day of the eclipse, because of the anticipated traffic that will be in the city, it might take a lot longer to do any necessary errands that you might have. So we're asking people to do those things before Monday. Do not wait until Monday if you need prescriptions or if you need grocery items for your home. Be aware that cell service on the day of the eclipse is expected to be greatly affected. The best way to stay informed about the eclipse, city residents should text Eclipse to 38276. Again, that's text Eclipse to 38276. Again, we're asking residents to take this event seriously. Much like a snowstorm, we want people to be prepared in advance. And here, with more information, is Department of Public Works Commissioner Nate Martin.
Thank you, Mayor. As the Mayor said, the video messaging boards, one behind me, are going up. We've been in coordination with county, state officials through NITAC, and so our message boards are really mirroring what we as a collective group of municipalities and government leaders are putting in place. So ours are going to be going up as well, and again, those will be right in line with what you're seeing on the thruway and other major roadways. So the Mayor mentioned the stoppage of service for one day, a delay of one day on sanitation recycling. So we coordinate with that with our partners. So Monday's pickup will not occur, as the Mayor said. That will be Tuesday. Tuesdays will be Wednesday. Wednesday will be Thursday. So everybody's pickup next week will be pushed back one day. Again, we're asking you put out bulk trash as normal per the schedule in the Ellicott District, but we will not pick up on Monday, picking up on Tuesday. Again, our goal is to eliminate as much of that traffic that, from our perspective, that could be on the streets. So, we'll ask for the cooperation on that standpoint. The Mayor mentioned parking on grass. From our parks perspective, our parks are open to be enjoyed by the residents. I know encourage people to walk to those, but if you go to a park, if you drive to one, please do not park on the grass. Do not park on the fields. Use the designated parking areas. We'll have staff, and Olmsted will have staff in their major parks to facilitate some conversations, but we just ask to protect our parks. And if you bring things in, if you're going to spend a little bit of time, please don't leave garbage in the parks. What you bring into a park, please take out with you as well. From a street perspective, we're stopping all road construction projects that might be occurring that day on the major thoroughfares, so we won't have any traffic lane blockages. Again, our goal is to keep traffic flowing, so any road projects that are on those major thoroughfares, we will pause those during the eclipse Monday, Tuesday, and those will be picking up on Wednesday. So a few things from our perspective just to make sure we're on the same page. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Martin. Next, we'll get an update from the Buffalo Police Department. Presenting that update will be Captain Marcus Rogowski.
The police department has been partnering with law enforcement on the federal, state, and regional levels to ensure that our resources are pooled and to plan ahead to make sure that the Eclipse is a safe, fun event for everyone. Safety at large events truly is a team effort, and the general public is the most important part of that team. We urge you, if you see something, say something. We need the public to use 911 and our non-emergency phone number, 716-853-2222, appropriately. It's anticipated that traffic in and around the Eclipse will be highly congested. In Buffalo, we pride ourselves that we can get anywhere in 20 minutes. Unfortunately for this weekend, that's not going to be the case. If you are going out, plan ahead. If your event requires a ticket, get those now. Leave early and plan on staying late. The safest and probably the most fun place to view the eclipse will be your own home. If you can see the sun on a normal day, you'll have a great view of the eclipse. Your family will be able to view the eclipse from home with little to no work and effort. Thank you, sir.
Next, we'll hear from the city's Emergency Services Manager, Thomas Luby.
Good morning. The task force is still continuing to work on our regional partners, fine-tune it, being meticulous, optimizing our preparedness, and making sure we have our communication link among all our partners on the crucial day of the April 8th. The anticipated viewers that are coming in here has increased significantly, and they contribute to the fact that the city of Buffalo is fortunate to be the center line of the eclipse in itself. Longer duration than most, so we have it's 2.5 times longer than it was in 2017. Schools are taking, and other academic institutions has taken advantage of this as for the educational point, and then to inspire scientific curiosity as an educational. And the next chance to see this will be 20 years later. So everyone's going to be optimizing this. You're going to start to see traffic getting a little busy on the roadways coming in around Thursday is what they're anticipating. So around Thursday, the traffic should start getting a little bit heavier. The weather forecasters have given early indicators where the conditions are going to become more favorable for viewing, which means that there'll be less of a cloud coverage. So things are looking up. The temperature is looking good. It's at the 50s right now, but it's anticipated to go up a little higher based again on the forecasters. The cell phone carriers have reassured the city of Buffalo's Eclipse task force that they have their system cell sites can handle the additional overload or additional capacity. They've done tweaking to their systems. Just to remember, always use during the cell sites when they do go down. Always use whether it's a disaster or another type of incident. Always use the text versus the actual cell, because you're waiting on the cell. Someone could be streaming it until you get an extra line of the cell site to be open. The text will still go through, so part of that family communication plan that you would have normally, right? And then just stay attached to the Eclipse, as the mayor suggested. This way you'll keep informed of what is going on in the city and apprised of what is happening and whatnot. Thank you.
That sound that you just heard was the Buffalo Fire Department alerting you to the fact that the Commissioner of Fire will be the next speaker, Commissioner William Ronaldo.
Thank you, Mayor. Morning. I'm thinking that horn is stuck, so we'll get into that. We'll cover that. So I know a large volume of information has been put out over the last several weeks. There's just a couple points that I want to make. One new point and reiterate a previous point that we made a week or so ago. So I want to remind everyone of the city ordinance against open burning. There is no open burning allowed within the city limits. And when I say open burning, that means fire pits and things of that nature. Once again, not allowed within the city limits. I know a lot of folks are going to have gatherings, whether their own backyard or some other public place, or maybe the neighbor's yard, things like that, and they may be tempted to have a fire pit to add to the ambiance and things of that nature. So please cooperate when it comes to that. That'll free up our crews and our apparatus to respond to more serious emergencies instead of a call like that, so odor of smoke and things of that nature. Second point, which we spoke about before on the EMS front, as far as please make sure if you take any daily medication that you have that medication on your person, because you may be stuck, and there's a good chance you may be stuck in traffic, in a vehicle or at your viewing place, wherever you chose to view the eclipse from. Okay, so, and there may be a delay in EMS response as well. We're hoping that's not the case, but there always is a chance that it could be. So have that medication. If you take any daily medication, make sure you have that actually on your person, in your vehicle, or at your viewing location. So thank you. And I'll be followed by, I believe, Commissioner Wagner from parking. Right.
Yeah, just as a reminder to everyone, kind of what Mayor Brown and Commissioner Martin said, please do not block fire hydrants, crosswalks, driveways. There is no parking on the grass throughout the city. You may notice some signs that we're going to put up in certain areas. Albright Knox will have one, Furman Boulevard, and as well as Olmsted Park. But again, can't stress enough, please don't park on the grass, and when you're traveling, just make sure you're traveling safely during this event. Thank you.
We'll now open up for any on-topic questions that the members of the media have.
Mayor, how are emergency resources like EMS, police, and fire, are those being pre-positioned in certain areas to respond quicker given the congestion that's expected? You know, what are the plans for that?
I'm going to have our fire commissioner respond to that.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, and we are working closely with AMR, our contracted ambulance service, and other agencies and departments, specifically the Buffalo Police Department as well, to make sure, I think I mentioned previously, make sure we have freedom of movement, the roads are clear, and we're able to get where we need to go when we need to get there. So I mentioned earlier there could be a delayed response, but we are really planning for the worst, hoping for the best, and Buffalo Police Department will be key in keeping these avenues open for us. So thank you.
And Buffalo Police Captain Rogowski will respond to that as well.
As part of the planning that's been taking place over the last couple of months, we've worked to identify staging locations so we can have a portion of each of our resources available in each part of the city.
Do you also work with the Homeland Security and the FBI just to make sure too, because so that while everybody's looking up at the sky, nothing else can
Yes, ma'am. I'm very proud to say that in the planning leading up to the eclipse, we've relied on resources from all levels of government, and representatives from various different government agencies have been part of our planning, and I'm even more proud to say that we work together quite well in Erie County and in the city of Buffalo.
Mr. Luby, or Mr. Mayor, what are the early estimates of people who are coming into the city? How many people can we expect to see? I know we've been given a general figure, but in terms of hotel accommodations, are we all sold out? I mean, what do you expect to see here?
Yeah, I'll let Captain Rogowski speak to that in a moment, but we know that all of the hotels in the city of Buffalo are sold out. Looking at past events like this is where the number of 500,000 to 1 million people comes from. I don't know if there are more specific numbers, but I'll have Captain Rogowski respond to that.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Based on reports from previous eclipses, we are looking at the potential to double the population in and around the western New York area. It really is an event that is drawing people and fans from all over.
And so maybe, Mr. Luby, can you talk then, how do you prepare from an emergency response standpoint, emergency management, to handle double the population of western New York and perhaps even the city of Buffalo?
Well, you work with the expertise of the fire department, the police department, and neighboring jurisdictions, so that you break up the city into geographical and functional areas, and then based on that, you have a certain set component of what would be responded in those areas and whatnot. And then if we needed mutual aid or anything like that, we can bring it in. So the object is that this is all the stuff that will be happening behind the scenes, where the resources can move around and go after and attend to whatever they have to do. So we plan looking at it from the tactical perspective, right, on the ground level, how we're going to get to service, whatever we have to do, and then we look at it from the strategic side, the overview of the city itself and then neighboring partners, how we would address it, and then we just dial it down. So, you know, it's a combination of strategic and tactical response. And then how do we get that? How do we optimize in our resources? We don't want to use all our specialties, whatnot. How do we offset some of those skill sets through other things, and who can help us out? How do we develop task forces, strike teams going into the situation? And then again, the bottom line comes down to the commanders and the officers that are on the scene requesting and using the resources and the allocation of resources for what they need and don't, because you might have to anticipate there'll be a delay of getting that backup, so to speak, right? So a real good scene size up, report of what's going on, what's happening, and everything like that will help drive what resources are really needed. So the task force, the Eclipse task force, the city's Eclipse task force, we broke it into 3 sections. We broke it into in the pre-response or pre-planning, which is currently going on right now. This is where some of the resources are being deployed. We're setting up various barriers. We're going through fine-tuning the documents, fine-tuning and being meticulous and making sure we're having some communication nodes and that interworking operability going back and forth and versus the actual day, right? So that's going on here. So it's a real preparation. We look at that from the 7th and 8th, we look at it as being the response. The response is the potential that we might have to, because of the volume, because of requests of resources, constraints on the emergency services component, the vehicle and the pedestrian traffic might be a little bit affecting our response and our ability to maintain that. We might have to activate the Emergency Operations Center a little sooner so we can coordinate that and provide top cover and resources and allocation of that. As you know, April 8th is also the response. April 8th is what everyone is focusing on, is the total eclipse thing. We went further. We went from April 9, 10, and we looked at the recovery aspect. The recovery aspect is probably going to be worse, or it has a little bit more of an impact, because everything that came in here is now going to go north, and now it's going to travel back home through our city and whatnot, which can pose even a bigger problem, because now you have different cars that might have bypassed the city to go to another location. So because of that, the Emergency Operations Center will continue to be open to facilitate, coordinate informational sharing to achieve that thing on it. So we broke the incident into 3 manageable pieces so that we can have the effective response and organizational management that we could do.
Those reassurances you mentioned from the cell carriers, what do those involve exactly? Are they putting up new towers? Have there been adjustments in that regard, or is it just the existing infrastructure that they think will be able to handle communication during this event?
Depending upon the carrier, they go into a higher capacity load. They enable it somehow to some other carriers that are putting up additional towers. We have another carrier that can adjust the cell phone tower to hit a certain place, more better coverage, or whatnot, orient the tower to absorb the additional flow and whatnot. So each one is a little different to what they're doing. But they all reassured them how many times we asked them, and they're going to have people that are going to have representatives supposedly on site to constantly reevaluate, so we don't get the coverage map per se. They actually have the technicians, and then they can work the system through their thing. But that's what they reassure, that they're going to boost the capabilities of the actual sites. And what we have, according to them, is that we even on a normal day, we're looking pretty good. So.
Mayor, from just the positive side, the economic side of it, there's got to be a mention of that role and maybe maximize that with all these visitors as well to show them the Queen City.
It can be a big economic boost with all the hotels being filled. Certainly there'll be an economic impact there. I know that restaurants, bars expect a lot of traffic. So businesses across the city of Buffalo, and particularly in downtown, are really looking forward to the event. They're doing their preparations as well to make sure that their businesses are operating as smoothly as possible for the event, so that they can maximize profitability. So this definitely can be a profitable event for businesses in the community.
Is there one area that you're more focused on, like the Outer Harbor, for instance, concerned about traffic getting in and out at all?
I'm going to have the police respond to the question of traffic.
Traffic definitely has the potential to be a large issue. That's why it's very important that we all understand that there is no bad spot in the city of Buffalo. The view on your front lawn will be just as good as the view here in Niagara Square, the view on Furman Boulevard, or anywhere in the county. Families have a great opportunity to stay home, stay safe, and enjoy this event from their own home.
And as you know, there are a lot of different facilities that have events. So Explore and More Museum will have an event. Sail and Field, the Bisons will have an event. Buffalo State University at Coyer Field will have an event. The Buffalo Zoo will have an event. The Buffalo Science Museum will have an event. So there will be a lot of events in a lot of different parts of the city. So traffic is a concern. And as Captain Rogowski said, we are right in the path So if people don't want to go out, if you want to get the full experience and do that at home, you won't miss a thing by staying at home and watching the eclipse. Any other questions that you have before we conclude?
What are your viewing plans?
I will be viewing it wherever Michelle Brown says I'll be viewing it. And with that, we will conclude. Thank you very much.
I'm discussing this at a quick.
Yeah.